Haven't done this in a while, so I need to get in the swing of things again. Quarantine week 6. I got really gray roots. My hair needs to be toned. I'm struggling, y'all. I never thought of myself as high maintenance before. Maybe I'm medium maintenance. Today is a good day to drink. Hello everyone and welcome to another card video. Today I get to play with some products from the MFT new release. I'm happy to be taking part in the MFT and Friends blog hop, so I will leave my blog linked below if you guys want to check that out. MFT graciously sent me these products in order to participate in the MFT and Friends blog hop, so let's see what they sent. First, I see a new paper pack, which I love pattern paper and I hoard pattern paper. I need to use more pattern paper, so we're gonna use pattern paper today. But this one is called Woodgrain Whimsy 6x6 paper pad, and it's just that. It's a lovely rainbow of wood grain, and I love wood grain. If you've been following me for any amount of time, wood grain is my jam. So these are just beautiful, like natural kind of colors that I think would go great, and it would also make a great rainbow if you wanted to make a rainbow tree. Next is Grande Greenery, and this is a 3-die set with different greenery, and I've been loving the rainbow greenery cards that I've been seeing lately. I just think they're adorable, so this is a great set to use to make something like that. Next is a stamp called Totally Awesome, and it's pretty big. I don't think I have, this piece of paper is cut to 3.5 by 4 3/4, which is smaller than a normal card size, so you can see the size of it there. So it's enough to maybe stamp on a card and then do some greenery around it. Next is the Rainbow Whimsy, and it's an imperfectly cut rainbow. I did cut it out. It's cut in half because I was testing out a card design that I had in my head and it didn't work out. So I need to make a new rainbow, but that's okay. But you get an idea of what it looks like. It's an imperfect archway, and I really, really like the design, the whimsical nature of it, so I know that I have a few designs that I want to create using this die. Next is Good Luck Greetings, and it has a great big good luck scripty sentiment. My nose is a little stuffed up, I'm sorry. With sub-sentiments like, I know how important this is to you, they're lucky to have you, you'll be amazing. It's a great stamp set with a ton of versatility. I simply adore the Birdie Brown line at MFT, and there's a new ginormous stamp set out with this release, and it's called Hanging with My Gnomies, and it has adorable gnomes and some things to create a really fun scene, and I have a great card that I want to create with this. I don't know which card to do today on camera. There's a lot going on up here, and I don't know which one to create. I must create them all. Next is another stamp set that I think is going to be super fun to play with. This one's called Brilliant Butterflies, and it has solid stamps to go with a decorative stamp, like a layering set, and it does come with a design guide, so you can see that you layer and they're all blocked together so that you can see which ones are supposed to go together, but you stamp the solid piece and then you can stamp the line art above it or just use the line art on its own. And I think this is super fun. I can't wait to play with this. Next is a smaller stamp set called Dandelion Greenery, and I actually have to look up what a dandelion is. It's because I don't put any energy into learning the flowers. So I'm gonna Google it. But I think this is super fun. I want to emboss this, do an emboss resist with this, so we'll see. Next is Mother's Day Bouquet, and it has a nice little picture here with some stems coming out, some really fun greetings like Happy Mother's Day, best mom ever, and happy birthday, with some greenery and some other, like an arch these arches, you could easily make a wreath with that. That would be fun. The next one is Happy Hummingbirds, and it's just that. There's hummingbirds in both directions. You could even do like a spinner card with these hummingbirds, and it has wonderful sentiments like with sympathy, best wishes, I'm sorry. That's a good one. I usually have to say that a lot. And it also has coordinating dies. The last stamp set that I have in my little box here is called Main Squeeze, and I love it. I think this is the one that we're gonna use today on today's card. I just love that To My Main Squeeze, and it's got a summery vibe to it, and I think we really need that right now. Right? Are you with me? Yes. I started with a piece of Neenah 110-pound solar white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and my MFT Extreme Black ink because I plan on using some alcohol markers to color my images today. I moved my sleeve up like that because Carissa Wiley told me that trick to kind of smooth the Misty. I've got my Tombow ABT Pro alcohol marker color chart. I am just beginning my marker collection for this brand, and so I don't have them all, but I am trying to learn the numbers and coordinating with the colors that I typically like to use, and I'm just going to collect them all. I decided to speed this up a bit, but if you would like to skip this part, go right ahead. I'm going to be using my Tombow ABT Pro alcohol markers to color this lemon and some of its leaves. Now, I understand that lemon leaves are much darker than I colored them, but I wanted to stick to my color palette, so it is what it is. If you are interested in the exact markers I use to color these images, I have a color map over on my blog. I use those and I pin those to Pinterest so that I can refer back to them when I want to color some more. I like to pick out my colors on Pinterest. Color combinations, I have a ton of color combinations, like for backgrounds and just inspiration, card inspiration for almost everything, including Animal Crossing. So yeah, I like Pinterest. By the way, these markers are fantastic. I love them. I really do like the water-based version of Tombow's markers, but these alcohol markers blend amazingly. They only have 108 colors, but honestly, I get overwhelmed with the amount of colors that Copic has to offer, so I don't own all of the Copic markers. So this seems a little bit easier to handle, I guess, for some. I'm not going to stop collecting my Copic markers. In fact, I'm going to use these Tombow alcohol markers in conjunction with my Copic alcohol markers and other alcohol markers that I have in my collection. I think they all kind of work well together. This is what my images look like now after I colored them, and I'm using the coordinating dies to cut them out. Once I secure them in place with my Thermoweb purple tape, I run them through my Diamond Press Marquee. I was recently asked to review this little die cutting machine, and I have been using it ever since. I love it. You can get it on HSN. We're going to add a little bit of sweetness to this card. I'm going to use Nuvo Deluxe Liquid Adhesive to rim my lemons with sugar. And by sugar, I mean Simon Says stamp glitter. Unicorn dust, to be specific. It is mostly a clear glitter, but has an iridescent tint to it. It is gorgeous and perfect to sugar these lemons. I can just taste the citrusy beach drinks. Hey, do you know what happens to the excess glitter that stays on my piece of paper here? It gets set free. Yep, those are angel blessings, baby. I'm going to take this simple circle die and cut out an aperture slightly larger than the lemons that are my images. I'm cutting it from one of the blue pieces of the Woodgrain Whimsy 6x6 paper pack that's new with MFT this month. It's cut to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. I'm also going to cut another piece of Neenah of the same size and put it behind this piece so I could stamp the sentiment to my main squeeze. And I'm stamping it in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Clear heat embossing powder to enhance that. I'm going to do some ink blending over top of it, and I need my sentiment to stay nice and black. I'm using my Wagner heat tool to heat that up, first on the back and then on the front of the card. This is just the white studio version of the Wagner heat tool. Have any of you tried the new redesigned Wagner heat tool? I would love to hear your opinion of that in the comments. I am using my Nuvo blender brushes and some Distress Oxide ink to ink blend a nice yellow, lemony, sunny background. Seriously, I was sitting there talking with my daughter, having a blasty blast, and I really didn't care how this turned out. In fact, I wasn't paying too much attention to it. I was paying more attention to my daughter, and I loved every minute of it, no regrets. I knew that I wanted it to be yellow and gradient, and I succeeded in that, so I'm happy with it. Now we're going to make it nice and shiny too, and it coordinates well with the lemons, so success. So I've made a little wind tunnel here in one of my Collax units or Expedit units, and I'm spraying in the wind tunnel my 3 shimmer sprays. They're all linked below. Now I'm taking some more Distress Oxide ink to ink blend around the outside of this panel. I'm just using chipped sapphire and pine needles to kind of stay with that nice blue-green color. I really like how this blue-green really made my lemons pop, so I finished with that and got my shiny background out of the wind tunnel. It's slightly warped, it's okay. So now I needed to just adhere everything together, and nobody really needs to watch that for the 900th time, so I graciously sped it up for you. You're welcome. I used a variation of liquid adhesive and Scotch foam tape, which I'm running out of, to pop up my images in the lower left-hand corner of my aperture. I did end up adding some sequins after I finished filming, but they're in the final photos. I love how this card turned out today. I am definitely going to give it to my main squeeze, and I hope that I've inspired you to create something today. You can follow me over on Instagram. I hope to make some more projects featuring these new products from MFT. Find me, find MFT on social media. I love interacting with you in the comments. Coming up next is just a little bit of vlog footage of me and Dexter painting some wooden Easter eggs.